Hey everybody, Erica Jones here from Teambuiltdownline.com. I have a really cool tool to show you today, and every network marketer out there should be using something like this. If you're not using this one, you should be using something like this. And this one is absolutely free. It is a fantastic way to be able to manage your leads, your prospects, your team members, and know exactly where they are in your system and how to remember everybody, and also share that information across to your team leaders, your upline, the people that you do three-way calls with, all that sort of stuff. The people that need to know information about your prospects, they need to be able to see this as well. So this is called Trello, Trello.com, and it is a really cool way to be able to share information. We stumbled upon this when we were looking for a way to manage the leads that we were getting for Team Built Downline. We've got people coming in from all over the world, and we are basically building out people's downlines for them. And so there's a lot of management that goes along with that. And we needed a way to be able to share that information without sending files and Excel spreadsheets and all that sort of stuff. And this is the fastest way that we have found to do this, and it's a lot of fun. So what you're looking at here is a Trello board. And when you sign up for a free Trello account, you get a board that looks, well, it wouldn't look just like this. It would actually have a whole bunch of information in it. But it's going to basically allow you to be able to share this information across with other members that you've got on the board. And as you update your board, they will see that update come through in real time on their side. Now, I'm not going to go into all kinds of detail on this video, because the Trello homepage has a great video that shows you really cool things. But I'm just going to show you how a regular network marketer might use this, and how we're sort of using this with Team Built Downline. So normally when it comes to building a business, you have your own leads, you have prospects, you have people that have seen your presentation, then they become team members, and then they get into your training program. So those are the lists that I have here. And the people here on the left-hand side are my leads, and I can quickly add a card just like this, type in someone's name and click add, and away it goes. So that's what I've done here. But I've added some extra information to Joe. So let's pull this up right here. Now in here, right at the top would be the most important information about Joe. First thing, obviously, his name. Then you'd edit the card description. So phone number, Skype ID, Facebook URL, the contact information for Joe, maybe something about how many kids he has, how you know him, how you met him, things that you want to remember about your leads, because not everybody's somebody you've known since you were knee-high to a grasshopper. Okay, you're not going to remember everything that you talk to your leads about unless you write it down. And so this is a great place to keep all of that information. And so if Joe contacts you on Facebook and says, hey, how are you? If you hadn't heard from Joe in a month, you could pull this card open and say, oh yeah, Joe, I spoke to him about this. He's in Boston, and he's got 2 kids, and he's worried about putting them through college, or whatever we spoke about. So you'd have all of that information right here, and you could remember exactly who Joe was and exactly what was going on. All right. You can also write yourself notes in the activity area. So you spoke to Joe about the compensation plan, or whatever it might be. You could add an activity to this. You can also use these, which are very cool, and these are labels. So right here I have that I've contacted him via phone, that I've talked to him via Facebook, but I can go in here and I can edit the labels that I put to Joe's card. I can also assign members to Joe's card. So say I wanted my upline Jason to reach out to Joe. I wanted Joe to hear Jason's story, so I assign Jason to the card, and then Jason knows, okay, I should reach out to Joe and say hello to him. I can also leave a note in here for Jason that says, hey Jason, reach out to Joe and give him more information about the compensation plan. So then when Jason wants to add him, I don't need to send him any information, because all of Joe's contact information is up here in the description. Very cool. Another way I use this is I use this upload feature all the time, because I generate leads through autoresponders and different things online. And so when someone drops their contact information in, I get an update from my autoresponder service, and what I do is I take a screen capture of the information that they submitted, and then I just upload it as an image in here. So when I speak to Joe, I have his information pulled up right in front of me. Very easy. I can also add a checklist, so if there was things that I wanted to make sure that I answered for Joe, I could do that. I can also set a due date, which is very cool. I can say maybe Joe wanted me to speak to him after his vacation, and he was going to be back on the 7th. So I knew to set this for the 7th so that I could know that I was going back to him at that date. And, or, you know, maybe it's, hey, get back to me after payday, whatever it might be, I can set a due date so I know exactly when to get back to Joe. I can also move Joe, which I'll show you how to do in a minute. I can also copy Joe's information. So if Joe fits into more than one list, I don't have to recreate all of this. I can just copy his card and then move it over. I can also archive Joe. So if he said to me, hey, Erica, not interested right now, I got too much on my plate, but I'll get back to you when I have more free time, I can archive Joe, and when he does get back to me, I can pull up all of his information and I have it all saved and ready to go when we start our conversation again. And I can also delete it if I needed to just get rid of it, share, print, and export, really cool things. And that's sort of the overview of cards. But let's say that Joe has now moved from a lead and he's interested in the business, so I move him over to prospects. Then I show him the presentation, I move him over there. And then he joins as a new team member, so I move him there. And then I want to make sure that Joe is also in my Diamond Rush training, so I would just copy his information and put it into that. So I knew where he was at when it came time to get him trained up so that he was building his business. So I could easily move him over into that one too. And everything I do happens on my activity feed. So my upline or anyone else that I add to this board would be able to see this information and know that things have been changed or updated. And to add members is really easy. Somebody obviously has to have a Trello account. So you just click on that and type the person's name in here, and you can see right now I have a pending invite to Jason. He's my upline, and I want to invite him to my board so that he can see this information. So when he accepts this, his little picture will pop up right here. So let's say I want to assign myself to this board. I can drag my picture over here, and now I know that that this is my lead and I need to speak to him or whatever it might be. I can actually assign myself to different things. So maybe it had to do with the training, and I wanted to make sure that I reached out to Joe about some sort of training thing. Anyway, you get the idea. There's some really cool ways that you can use this. And I have one of these that we use for Teambuiltdownline, and I have another one I have for my other business, as well as I have one that I use for my own personal household. So I manage the household tasks from in there too, and I have a schedule and everything that's going on. So really cool things happening with Trello. Again, free account. There's absolutely no reason why you and your team members couldn't be using this right now to share information. You'd be able to see all of the activity that your downline's doing with their business. You'd be able to help them a lot, and you'd be able to have access to information that would help you help them build their business. So get out there and create your own free Trello account. Start using this with your team, and when you do, let us know how you're using it, all right? So we'll see you at teambuiltdownline.com. Make it a fantastic day.